Today on the channel, our Jax Class Superstars unboxings continue with Andre the Giant, Gorilla Monsoon, and Eddie Guerrero from Jax Class Superstars Series 7.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Jax Class Superstars unboxing and review. And today from Series 7, we've got Andre the Giant, we've got Gorilla Monsoon, and we've got Eddie Guerrero. But remember, your modern day Mattel and AEW wrestling figure needs to hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle to save yourself 10%. And of course, we're doing this review and unboxing like we do all the other unboxing and reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And let's start it off with old Gorilla Monsoon first here. Gorilla Monsoon, obviously one of the favorite announcers of the 80s. A lot of people loved Gorilla Monsoon. And it's funny, of course, he was a pro wrestling star before he became an announcer. But the majority of people do remember him as an announcer after all these years. Unless you're really, really old and go way, way back. Most think of his time on Primetime Wrestling, for example, with Bobby the Brain Heenan. His time with Jesse Ventura, things like that. So Gorilla Monsoon, very, very fondly remembered. Of course, we did get a Mattel version of this figure, 2-3 years ago, something like that at this point. But very, very iconic Gorilla Monsoon announcer. But we did get a wrestling version, which I thought was really, really cool later on in Jax Class Superstars. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll talk about that one and unbox that one a little bit farther down the road. So stay tuned for that. Further ado, let's take a look at old Gorilla in the package there. He does come with a microphone and a headset that does match with Bobby the Brain Heenan's accessories, as we did get those similar accessories with Bobby Heenan in his classic Superstar, so you can have the hosts of Primetime Wrestling ready to go. We got Gorilla in the package looking only like he can look. On the side, Gorilla Monsoon. On the other side, you get a glamour shot of old Gorilla, and of course the classic packaging that we know to love in the Jax Class Superstars line. And on the back of the package, there's old Gorilla Monsoon up top. You got the big, big cross-sell. We'll be unboxing all those like I always say. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. UPC's warnings, and we got the blurb. One thing to note on the back of the package for this one, Gorilla Monsoon, his jacket, his suit coat jacket is all in red on the back of the package, where the final release is a little bit of a reddish, blackish, kind of rose color. I don't know what we call the color, but very, very Gorilla Monsoon. Much better than what we were shown on the back of the package. So I do like this version a heck of a lot more than the one that we saw on the prototype back here. It says Gorilla Monsoon debuted 1960, 450 pounds. I don't know announcer Gorilla if he was quite 450, but he was a big, big boy, especially in his wrestling days. Titles: WWE President, WWE Commentator, WWE Hall of Fame inductee. And one of the sounds of my childhood, really. One of the voices I always think of with wrestling, and I'm sure if you're in my age bracket, you probably are the same way. We all loved Gorilla Monsoon. Never forget when Vader did his Vader bomb on him. Couldn't believe we were seeing that. Gorilla had never been manhandled forever. So that was quite the big deal at the time, if you guys remember that. So without further ado, let's get Gorilla out of the package here and see what all the fuss is about. Hopefully I don't punch myself in the face. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again. Off to the races. See you later. Very, very yellowed package here, and that's why it's an opener. So there you go. But very yellowed. There's the two accessories in the old plastic prison as well. Let's pop these out. Start with accessories first, like we always do. Come on, Gorilla. Let's get out of here. You're free, Gorilla, after many years. Many years locked away. And see you later. Off to the side. Happy to report no Jax sticky disease. As we know, a lot of these figures have that famous Jax sticky disease. This one does not have that. Accessory-wise, a black microphone. Seen this a million times. Nothing too special, but we do get that with Gorilla Monsoon. And we do get a black headset. And the headsets we've seen in all varieties of colors, much like the microphone. This one is in black for old Gorilla. So nothing too crazy there, but great accessories for Gorilla, who of course was an announcer as depicted here. We do get the accessories of the sunglasses. These sunglasses are kind of the rose-colored ones, or I keep saying rose. I don't know if that is. But Gorilla always wore tinted glasses that always looked really good. You know, he's got the little blue lenses in there. He's got that going on right here. They are removable. They got the strap around the back. Looks like Gorilla Monsoon all day long, especially when you get the glasses on him. That really does add a lot. And I guess I don't really like the strap, but I do like the strap because when you look right on, you can't notice it. It does keep the glasses on perfectly. Looks very, very good to me there on old Gorilla Monsoon. Love it. Couldn't ask for much more for the Classic Superstars line for Gorilla Monsoon. And like I said, this pairs very well with the Bobby Heenan from the Classic Superstars line. Breaking this figure down a little bit, it is the suit body, so he's got the suit body legs. You get the suit coat, which we talked about. Happy to report, like I said, no sticky disease. And you get the arms. He does have a filled out hand and a gripping hand for his microphone. But one interesting thing here, we saw this with Paul Bearer as well, the mix of soft goods here. And I don't know if that needed to really be done, but I like that they tried it at least. But we got the soft goods undershirt, we got the soft good black bow tie, and then the soft collar. It looks okay. It looks all right, but as you can see, his belly is sticking out a little bit, so it's a little bit short. So that is a bit of a miss there. But if you can look past that, I think this is a very, very good figure, especially for the time. Very, very cool, iconic Gorilla Monsoon. Great to have. Definitely warrants a spot in the Classic Superstars line. There's no doubt in my mind. A very, very good looking figure right here, and that's Gorilla Monsoon. Now we're going to turn our attention over to Andre the Giant, because why not? Why not? We'll just take a look at Andre next. Andre, no stranger to the Classic Superstars line as well. Of course, we unboxed Series 1, which is just the absolute hottest of hot garbage. One of the all-time worst Jakks Classic Superstars figures was the first Andre the Giant. They did remedy the situation a little bit, and I believe it was Classic Superstars Series 6, which we just recently unboxed on the channel. A much better Andre the Giant figure here, but this Andre, we're throwing it all the way back to happy-go-lucky, good guy Andre the Giant, which is a very, very cool idea and something we didn't see a whole lot over the years, and it kind of been forgotten. As Andre the Giant got so iconic after WrestleMania 3 with the black strap, a lot of people forgot he used to look like this. And he was even depicted back in the LJN days in this kind of a look. So what is old is new again, I guess. But it's cool to get a different version instead of just the old strapped Andre the Giant. Getting a younger version was very cool. And then around the same time, we also got an exclusive of Andre the Giant and Big Show 2-pack. Two Giants, of course. And I do have that right here. I've shown this before, but it is the exact same Andre the Giant figure, but it has a fringe jacket on it, where this one does not have that. But it does still even have his classic blue chair right there. But getting reused, getting the most out of your molds, as we always say, they did do that with this very Andre the Giant figure. And then you got Andre in the package, of course. He's got that blue chair. Oh, he loved to play a good card game on that blue chair. We all know that story. No need to retell that. But Andre in the package, just a little bit plain Jane, but that was kind of Andre. Just a big guy. He lets his size do his talking, I guess. So we have him there, the Classic Superstars packaging. On the side, Andre the Giant. On the other side, a little glamour shot like he's ready for his senior pictures is what he's ready for right there. On the back, of course, you got the cross-sell. We'll be unboxing all these on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. UPC's warnings, got the glamour shot up high there, looking really good. And then you got the blurb and the old tail of the tape. Let's see what it says about our old friend Andre the Giant. Let's see. Andre the Giant debuted 1964, 500 pounds, 7'5". Finishing moves, the big boot, butterfly suplex, titles, WWE Champion, WWE World Tag Team Champion. Very, very cool. I don't see anything else crazy here, so without further ado, let's get old Andre out of the package. Always cool to have an Andre figure. One of the true giants of professional wrestling in many ways. And there he is out of the package. See you later. Goodbye. Oh, there's Andre. Look at him, looking good, looking sharp in the plastic prison. Pop that out. Pop that out. Off to the races, up high. See you later. Whoa, watch out. All right, we got the standard blue chair. Not a lot to talk about this. We've seen so many chairs over the years. I have hundreds of chairs in my collection. Someday I'll have a nice arena and I'll set them all up. It'll be great. It'll be great. But just a normal blue folding chair. But boy, I would have killed for one of these in my LJN days, playing days, because how cool was it to be able to slam people with a chair in your Fig Fed as a player? Oh, it had to have been a great time. Oh, great time. Now we get Andre the Giant out of the package here. And Andre is bent at the knees in the package so he can fit, because he is one of the larger figures in the line. We'll bust him out here, straighten him out a little bit. And let's walk through the articulation on Andre first. How about? And all the articulation is the same on these guys. I didn't walk through it on Gorilla, but he'll have the same articulation. But you get the legs forward, you get the legs back, you get the bend at the knee, single jointed, of course. Ankles up and down, not a ton of articulation there, no boot cut, anything like that. You do get waist articulation, you do get head side to side, you get shoulders up, shoulders all around, you do get a bicep cut, you do get a single jointed elbow, and then you get hands side to side. So that's all you really get, but like I always said, it was about the perfect amount for the time, and sometimes you can have too much articulation. It sounds crazy, but I do think that is a thing. This Andre, very, very plain. He does have his blue trunks on, red boots. Definitely pops. The colors do pop. I love the big Andre head with the big hair, the big sideburns, the young Andre. I love the hands with the big open hand, the big kind of almost basically a claw hand here. Just two great hands for Andre. Just larger than life figure. I love this one a lot. I love a giant figure. You guys know I love my big figures, my hairy bipedal creatures, all that jazz. I love this Andre. This is a fabulous, fabulous figure. One that doesn't get the hype that I think it still deserves after all these years. Still a great depiction of this era of Andre. We do know Mattel stepped in, did some of that as well. You can see him next to Guerrero Monsoon, so you can tell how big of a giant figure this one is. Very, very cool, very awesome. A great set between those two. Awesome figures. And then you're probably like, well, we got one guy that doesn't really fit in this, and that's Eddie Guerrero. A much more modern star compared to these guys, but hey, when you're breaking these sets down, something's got to give from time to time. But we got Eddie Guerrero here. But that being said, a little bit of a throwback Eddie Guerrero, a more WCW version of Eddie Guerrero than his late WWE run, of course, but Eddie Guerrero looking good in the set. Now, at this time, Eddie was probably a good one for the Class Superstars team because guess what? They had a lot of different Eddie Guerreros in the Ruthless Aggression sets. They had access to him being in the WWE, things like that. He was in their good graces, all that kind of stuff, so he was easy to plug into the line. They did have some of these molds just sitting around, but you get Eddie in, I guess you call it the black, basically black, silver, red, white boots. He does come with a patent fire extinguisher, this blue fire extinguisher. Now, his best of, I believe, came with a red fire extinguisher, so there's a noted difference there. But that would put out some of his accidents he would have in the kitchen from time to time. Eddie would fall asleep when he's making a frozen pizza. He'd always have that blue fire extinguisher at the ready because he knew once those alarms got going, he'd have to be off to the races to put that fire out. He burnt many a pizza in his apartment as a young up-and-coming luchador for sure. Somebody can fact-check that story, but it's got to be right? I just might have thought of it, or it might have been a story told down through the generations. Who knows? But he does get that going with him. Eddie Guerrero on the side right there. Oh, a little glamour shot of old Eddie right there. And in the back of the package, look at that. There's Eddie at the top. You got the blurb. You got the cross-sell. You got the UPCs. You got the warnings. Let's see what it says about our old buddy, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie debuted 1987, 220 pounds, height 5'8", titles WWE Champion, WWE Intercontinental Champion twice, WWE European Champion twice, and WWE Tag Team Champion. I do like the back of the package too, how they have him kind of diving through the air. I always thought that looked pretty good. But a very, very good Eddie Guerrero figure, a good representation of him at this stage in his career, if you ask me. I'm going to pull him out of the package, off to the races. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic prison. Oh, Eddie Guerrero. There he is. Now, Eddie is one that we've seen historically, much like Sabu. If you guys remember the Sabu Classic Superstar, we'll get to that on the channel here eventually. Pull Eddie out first. See you later. He is one where the head and the face, the plastic starts degrading and breaking down almost to make him look like a zombie, getting a green, grayish skin tone going on just in the head. So very, very strange. We saw that with a couple of figures over the years from the Jakks Ruthless Aggression line. Armando Estrada was another one, Sabu, and Eddie Guerrero. So I don't know what it is. Something about the plastic they used. It would degrade. This one is a fine specimen. It's not going to see any sunlight or anything, so hopefully I don't have that issue down the line. But it seems like once it's out of the package is when it starts degrading. You don't see them in the package degrading. So I don't know. I'm not a chemist, but I try to be one from time to time. We do got that blue fire extinguisher, like I said. Nothing too fun about that. We've seen this in red. We've seen it in black and red. Just one of the many used Jakks accessories over the years. So now we get down to this Eddie Guerrero figure. Of course, articulation is the same as everybody else. He does come with his black elbow pads. This is a beautiful mulleted version of Eddie. Eddie had one of the greatest mullets of all time in the wrestling business, as we know. Got kind of a little Elvis snarl going on with his mouth. Does have that thin pencil mustache going there. Definitely, you see this, you know all day long this is Eddie Guerrero. He's got his black singlet. He's got a little bit of a kind of lightning spark on the side in silver with the red outline. You got the white boots with the red piping around it, red on the laces. Of course, he does come with a fist. He's ready to throw down. Talked about the black elbow pads, another staple of the Jakks line. Just a very, very cool looking Eddie Guerrero. If you're an Eddie completionist, this is a must-have. A very, very good, sharp looking Eddie Guerrero figure. Didn't feel super, super classic at the time, but the beauty of the line was as the line expanded and as the years went by, guess what? Things that weren't classic then are classic now. And that's one of my favorite things about the line. You know, you get a guy like Draws at the time. Why is he in here? This doesn't make sense. Well, it's classic. After all these years, it's been a long time since a lot of these guys hit. So really do like that aspect of the line as well. Put all three of these guys here together. You can kind of see their heights and everything. Just a good looking set, and we got more good looking sets from the Jax Class Superstars line here to come on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and follow along over on the Patreon, as we're months ahead on the Patreon. If you're a Patreon supporter, you get these videos much earlier. You're months and many sets ahead if you're a Patreon subscriber. So check that one out. Link in the description below. There's also bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, a lot of fun over there on the Patreon. And best of all, you support the channel. You can also support the channel over at Pro Wrestling Tees. Search Kyle Peterson, pick up your very own t-shirt. SirPaul64 is where you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. And of course, make sure you subscribe to this very YouTube channel. Hit the old notification bell, as we got videos all the time. And don't forget to give this video the good old thumbs up like a young hacksaw Jim Duggan. So for Gorilla Monsoon, Eddie Guerrero, and Andre the Giant, I am Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.